Almost in Agreement. I think we're going to have everybody on the show at some point. It's going to be weird. Anyway, Sam is homesick again, but he's calling in like he usually does. AC is supposed to be coming over. Max is covering for an employee because that employee is also sick. So, I don't know. Illness is abound at this time of year, I suppose. So we deal with what we got and we move on with it. So, my first interview is coming up this week. I've got somebody running for chancellor, whatever the fuck that means. Hopefully I can learn a little bit more about what that job is before they come in to do the interview. I'm supposed to have lawyer Jamie on to do a show separately tonight, but he's also out sick. Just to go back to that first, running joke of sick. That's what's going on with that kind of stuff. So, almost in agreement at gmail.com, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. Check out our website at almostinagreement.com. You can go there to see all the available episodes. Also, our job description sheet, that's almostinagreement.com/job descriptions. You can get a little bit more information about what the actual job is that they're asking for and what they can actually do as opposed to what they tell you they're going to do, even if it doesn't apply. So, what's Almost in Agreement? Let's do a show. Sam Lama, how you feeling, buddy?
I'm all right.
Yeah? So what is it? What's going on? Like you said, you had a super bad headache.
Yeah, it was weird. It's like the headache just like right behind my eyes. But I had a little bit of sniffles, light cough, kind of a scratchy throat. Not hasn't like made it to a sore throat.
Interesting.
Like Thursday night and a bit of yesterday. Had chills. I was layered up, had like 3 shirts on, pretty much just like stayed under the covers.
Ugh, I hate being sick. It's the worst. So
I kept like smelling myself. I'm like, all right, I can still smell.
Yeah. Smelling yourself, you could smell how bad and sweaty you were. That's how you knew you didn't.
Well, no, I still have my deodorant on, so I can smell my deodorant.
Oh, saying I know if you meant like you stunk like from being all sweaty and shit.
No.
You could smell your foul body odor.
No. I smell wonderful.
I'm sure you do. You always smell wonderful. That's why I've been so sad that you haven't come in the studio.
I know.
But I just redid the whole room. It's completely different. Not completely different. It's significantly different layout in seating chart and maybe not seating chart, but I'm excited to show it off to people as they come in. A lot more space. It's more upright instead of being all kind of loungy back. Everybody's sitting around a table instead of being all spread out and across the room.
Huh. It'll be interesting to see.
Yeah.
Are we gonna have to get tall chairs now?
No, it's just a regular kitchen table height. Your chair's fine. Your chair's you might want to bring your butt cushion. Your chair just seems a tiny bit too short for this table.
It goes up and down.
I know. I got it all the way to the top.
Oh.
Like it's and it's a tiny bit too tall. Like so, if I pull the little piston thing and shrink it all the way as short as it goes, it doesn't quite slide under the table.
Huh.
But you'll have to see it when you get here. It's our old kitchen table, if you remember it. It's been up in the playroom for a while. It's like a crafting table.
Yeah.
But yeah, got it all set up, all wired in. Nothing we need to make the studio work, but I got some wish list stuff to make it a little bit more efficient and more comfortable. But I don't know. I'm excited. It'll sit. I mean, where before it got weird when it had more than when it was like just the 4 of us. It felt cramped, even though the table was tiny, and this table's like 4 times as big. But it feels more spacious with, like, I have the chairs out where they're supposed to be right now, and you can walk around. Where before, it, like, you were tripping over wires or tripping over stands and stuff like that. So I don't know. Like I said, I'm pretty excited about it. I think it's pretty cool. Hopefully,
work so hard on getting your little table set up originally.
I know, and I've got a little bit of tweaking to do to the new one, but it's I don't know. Like you'll have to see it, but it's comfy.
Yeah.
Nice part too is since everything's at the table, I can sit anywhere if I want to. Because it's a wireless mouse, and so I can have the TV on behind me, where what's usually behind me, and I could sit in your chair and operate the majority of stuff from there just fine.
Right.
And so, I don't know, depending on what it is, if we have an occasion where it makes sense for me to sit on the other side of the table for some reason, then I can. Like if I ever have a guest that I want to like do like Oprah style, where I'm sitting next to them instead of sitting across from them.
Right.
I don't know. Fun, form, function.
It's got options.
Yep, that's right. Green screen, don't have it up currently, but I got the green screen ready to go whenever I want to, so we can be in Tahiti. So I don't know what's new and exciting. I got a couple things that I've seen this week.
I was just trying to look it up, see if there's any resolve yet. It looks like there's a hostage situation in Texas.
Oh snap! I did not hear about that.
Man takes hostages at synagogue, demands. I think one of the things I saw, I guess he affiliates with some kind of terrorist organization, because I think one of his demands was he was asking for prisoner release.
Okay. Do they do that? Do they release prisoners on? I thought we don't negotiate with terrorists.
I mean, we've done prisoner swaps in the past, not necessarily for hostage negotiation.
Yeah, I mean, I know we've done it with like POW kind of deals with like Afghan, Taliban,
right?
Al-Qaeda kind of things as a way to, which that makes sense as far as a bargaining chip in war, but I don't know. Okay, noted. Standoff, hostage situation in Texas. That sucks.
It's at a synagogue, I guess.
It's not a particularly active week here in town. I mean, we had that trench thing. That was pretty crazy up by one of our staffers right next to his apartment complex, essentially, from what I gathered.
Still like how deep the trench was.
Well, I mean, they said they were buried up just 15 feet of dirt, which I figure you'd suffocate pretty damn quick under that much earth.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's just, there's not air. How does air get down there? But apparently, I don't know. Like, they said when they came up on him, like, one guy's hand was visible. And so they were, like, yelling at him and saying, like, squeeze or open your hand for yes or no or whatever. And so apparently the trench was deep, but they weren't buried under the entirety of it didn't go back to level, I guess is what to say. So if you're 6 foot tall, standing at the bottom of a 15-foot trench and 10 feet of dirt fall in, you're only under 2 or 3 feet of dirt. At least your head's only under 2 or 3 feet of dirt. But I don't know. Last I heard, they got out and they were in the hospital. And that was it.
Yeah, I think I saw one had already been released and one was maybe still there.
So they're alive. Way to go, Rural Metro. As much as I like to hate on you, came through like champs on this one. But I did do some quick math. Assuming the $1,500 per hour per truck, not including Lifestar, we're guessing it was like $350,000 in Rural Metro fees for their services. Not to say
that's your estimate.
That's my estimate. I don't know exactly how many trucks are there. I just know that off of a eyewitness guessed that there was about 30 trucks. I think is what he said. I don't remember now. I gotta look it up. But they were there for at least 8 hours. Now, granted, 30 trucks probably weren't there for all 8 hours, but some came and went, and some came and went and did whatever. But I think what did he say? I
just don't remember if there were any other local stories this week.
There wasn't, like I said, there wasn't a bunch of one. Yeah, so 30 trucks plus Lifestar for 8 hours. Just Rural Metro as part of that's probably $350,000. That was my guesstimate. No, it wasn't a particularly active week. There wasn't a ton going on. There were some follow-up not hearings, but public sessions for the police chief thing that went on without event.
Yeah.
I did see there was a press release from a lawyer's office, and I was kind of confused on the function of what was going on. I'm trying to remember if I saw it from David Hayes' page or if I saw it from, there it is. The Baker Law Firm put out a media release, so it's a press release from the Baker Law Firm. Basically saying, what the hell happened to this this dude in custody that died in custody a week ago. We still
did see a little bit about that. It sounded like they were gonna release the video. The judge was just When I first read it, I thought the judge was just kind of temporarily not letting the family see it.
Yeah, and then I read somewhere that they showed the family, and that one's yours. All right, hey, AC's here, everybody! Yay! All right, pause for 1 second, Sam, and we'll jump back in. All right, and pause. All right, AC, everybody, he lives. No, wrong one.
How do I get?
Yeah, he's sitting in Sam's chair.
Does this extend any further?
Yeah, I'm still working on that one. That one's a different.
Is that a no?
Different animal. No, it doesn't. That is where it is.
That's okay. That's all right. So, I can't hear myself, by the way.
Okay. So, how about now?
Turn my headphones in.
Nope.
You can't hear yourself at all?
Nope.
Which one are you in? Fuck, I don't know. They're all on now. No? Still no?
A little bit, but not. That's a little better.
That's as loud as the fucker goes, bro. Don't know what's going on there.
Oh shit! You're fuck. That's loud, dude.
I am?
Yeah.
But you can't hear you at all?
Not really. I mean, I can, but you're a lot louder than I am.
Okay, there. How's that?
Yeah, my headphones on?
Yeah.
Or the little shitty ones? Okay. No, mine work well.
Damn. That's really loud now.
Okay. All right. Technical difficulties. Anyway, excited AC's here. So,
Yay.
To back up and make everybody listen to it again.
This is fucking great.
Yeah, we haven't talked about that yet. You need to send a picture to the group chat for us. Get everybody's in there.
This is the best.
So I've been trying to get you guys your birthday present or Christmas present since like the week before Christmas when we first started trying to do a year in review show. Actually, while we're in awkward whatever it is, AC, stay here. Sam, I'm gonna put you on hold for just a second.
All right.
See if this cuck answers his phone.
Did you call him a cuck? That's great.
I did.
That's just great.
Hello.
Hey man, we're taping. Just give me 5 minutes and then go back to work. AC's in the room. I'm so freaked out that he's actually here. Sam's on the phone. So I've been trying to get you guys your Christmas presents, and really just because I haven't seen AC since the hunting trip in the flesh. So I don't know when again I'll have a chance to get him his gift. So I gave it to him. So why don't you tell him what I got you guys?
What? I'm sorry. Say that again.
Well, tell them what I got you.
Got me or got everybody else? So Seth got the Steve Ranella Meat Eater Fish and Game Cookbook. I have the Seth is actually kind of a brilliant guy, and it really hurts my fucking soul to say this. So I have had the Meat Eater Fishing and Game Cookbook for a while now.
I mean, I'm pretty sure you mentioned it.
Did I really? Okay,
yeah.
Cool. Well, anyway, I've had it for a while, but apparently there's an edition prior to this one, which is a paperback version, which he got for me. So anyway, it's actually
it's also a hunting guide from Steve Ranella. It may have some rules on sighting your gun in.
Is that what that's all about?
No, that was not what it's all about, but it makes sense in post.
Mm-hmm. You're a funny guy, goddammit. You're a funny guy.
What was in the books? Everybody got this another thing in the books.
Everybody got one?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. I thought I was special. Sorry. So, also included in the Meat Eater is a lordship proclamation for all of us motherfuckers with
lords
with our names on it, which I think is fantastic.
We are all lords now.
I really actually kind of like it.
All right. So yeah, I just wanted to get since we haven't met. I mean, honestly, I haven't talked to everybody at the same time, other than a few like random text strings since the hunting trip. So that was what, late November, and I guess I should have given Max and Sam. I could have done yours at our Christmas party for the other thing, but I wanted to try to do it as all together. And then it's like, well, I can't. I don't know. It's fucking halfway through January, and I still haven't given out Christmas gifts. So.
Herein referred to as the plot. So E0120987.
Yeah, that's yours.
Where is this actually at?
It's in Scotland.
Yeah, I understand, but where?
Oh, I don't know. I'd have to look it up.
So did somebody just buy like 100 acres? And
we talked about this. Yeah, that's my assumption. I mean, the group that does it, it's a conservatory. They're trying to save the woodlands of Scotland, kind of thing, and as a way to raise money to keep this property private, and so it doesn't get developed into like a fucking mini mall or something like that.
So can I go cut down my tree if I want to?
I don't know. I'll get you the contact.
Here's a
for
better
it.
question. Can I get in a tree stand in my tree and shoot anything that comes by? That's the better question.
I honestly, if I understand some of the hunting laws in England are fucking super strict because they don't have anything. Like they've been hunted to, like nothing's on the not much is on the island anymore.
Really? Mm-hmm. Is that true? I mean, I would expect it. You've been on board for years now. You should know your history.
There's a newsletter.
Is there a newsletter? Really?
No, there's not a newsletter.
Oh fuck, that would have been great.
That could have been a good lie on why I went ahead and got it for you guys, but
that's true.
Or why I went ahead and get it out because your newsletter comes out next week.
God damn. No territorial restrictions are placed on a shotgun permit, meaning the shotgun can be used on any hunting ground in Scotland as long as the visitor has permission to hunt there. So if I decide to hunt on my 1 foot by 5 foot section, I'm giving myself permission to shoot anything that comes by?
I suppose so. If there is a stag in my 1 foot by 5 foot section and you can see it from yours, I give you permission to shoot something in mine as well. So just for it's on record, there's at least 2 1 foot by 5 foot plots in Scotland that you have permission to shoot things on when you go.
Interesting.
So, yeah. Anyway, I wanted to get that out. I was really excited to do that for
citizens of Scotland now. Like when I go to Scotland, I'm like, you don't need my American passport.
I know. I fucking own land here.
Who I am, I'm a lord.
Also, I want to point this out too. I'm taking up for Seth for a little bit. So I gave him shit for a period of time, and now that I have this, I actually
you feel it. You can feel it.
I felt like my dong got a little bit bigger. Did you have the same feeling when you first got yours, Lord Barber?
I know that's why it didn't hurt my feelings when you made fun of me for it.
Huh.
Like I was just.
I got a big dong now.
Felt good. Yeah.
Don't. It's okay.
Like every time you teased about it, it's like it just feels better. That's all it is.
So yeah, guys, I'd love to bust on him, but I kind of like it.
Right. Plus, his teaches him how. Like, actually, I might get myself a copy of the book I got you because I like it's got butchering and stuff like that too. It's not just cookbooks.
Yeah. So I actually that's the next phase for me is assuming that we get a house at some point. I want to cut my own stuff up, and I may not want to process all of it, but I just want to know how to do it if the option's there.
Yeah. So on Max, on your go get random jobs thing, since everybody's hiring, Max.
Say again.
You were talking a couple weeks ago about everybody, like every fast food joint and whatever's hiring, just go in and like work for like a week, and then when it gets annoying, quit. I was thinking about doing that. Go ahead.
Get hired and go through like their training and stuff, and then go, this sucks. And just leave.
So I was thinking about going to like Kroger or Food City and going to the butcher shop and be like, hey, teach me how to be a butcher. And then once I get what I want to know out of it, just, not really do the job, just get the education.
Do they have butchers at those places anymore?
I mean, yeah, they do. I mean, I think that's like, they'll take a prime rib and cut it into ribeyes. They're not doing like full, not in big grocery stores at least. They're just doing small cuts and stuff.
They're taking a big pack of bacon and putting in a smaller pack of bacon?
More or less. I mean, I don't know. They'll go like Kroger's. I think it's got one of the great little doohickeys on the on like the display case on the top. They have like it's basically the same thing as like a ring sizer, except it's a how thick do you want your steak cut sizer. And so it's like a bunch of it's a bunch of blocks of plastic that are the different thicknesses. And you'd be like, I want a steak that thick, and they'll cut it off a loin for you or whatever.
This is interesting. It talks about splatter patterns here. Mm-hmm. Tells you like if you see a specific splatter pattern, where you likely shot them at. Jesus Christ, this is actually you have outdone yourself, sir.
I do what I can.
Wow. Who came up with this idea?
So that will tell you where you missed it at?
Apparently so.
See, that right there. That joke, Max. Thank you so much. That joke made it worth every cent.
Apparently so. I'm happy about this. I am very happy about this.
All right. So I don't know. So Sam and I were chatting. We got started a little bit before AC got here, and we had to make the phone call for Christmas or whatever. What were we talking about? There's the KPD search and the incident last weekend, but we were beyond that. Where were we at, Sam?
In Yeah, I think we were trying to figure out where they're at with the release of the video of the man that died in custody.
Oh yeah, that was right. I was reading the press release from that law firm, on behalf of Robert and Nathan Bailey. And so yeah, it's the same. I mean, I get the argument right now as far as this. Again, this is off. I pulled this off of David Hayes' site. Like, I get the argument. It's the same argument that we had with Anthony Thompson, or the Austin East kid, Anthony Thompson,
I think.
Yeah. It's like, we've got these body cams, we got all this stuff that's supposed to keep at least some check and play, and every time an incident happens that feels like it'd be a good time to get that out so we can see it, it's always delayed. There's always some excuse to not, and here we are. So, I don't know. That was interesting to me. So, since we've got Max on, if we still do have Max on.
Yeah.
We were talking last week. I was doing some research on the to fill in my job description. The highest paid Knox County employee. What did we figure out it was last week, Sam? School board superintendent gets paid more than the mayor. Gets paid more than the sheriff. Sheriff actually has to make 3% less than the mayor by law. We learned that. But going,
so
I mean,
takes a pay cut. The sheriff has to take a pay cut.
Yeah, I mean, if Google is right, which is not a guarantee, that Mayor Jacobs is making like $188,000 a year. The state minimum for a county our size for a sheriff is like $140 something, but I don't know what the actual sheriff is making here. But yeah, if they were exactly 3% apart, yeah, I guess if we decided that the mayor's salary had to go down, then by law the sheriffs would have to go down with it. That'd be a fun little game to play. I like it.
If the mayor was like Jacobs, that did need money because he's rich, it was like,
Right.
yeah, work for free.
Mm-hmm.
Then the sheriff has to pay 3% to the county for his job.
Yes, I like it. So that means you need to run for mayor because you're rich enough. You don't need that money. I figured out, like, I'll tell you what, if nobody gets on the trustee, I might actually run for trustee. There's still time. Trustee is $130,000 something a year.
Is there nobody running?
There's one, just Biggs, just one guy.
Yeah, I've seen the signs out already.
Yeah. He's the only one that's he's pulled and returned his petition already, so he is eligible to run for the seat. As of right now, nobody else in the county has pulled for the trustee. But like Sam and I were talking about last week, the three main job requirements, as I've discovered in my research, is collecting property tax, keeping accounts of county funds, and investing temporary idle county funds. How much of that is flexible? How much of that isn't automatic by the systems that are already in place? It sounds like a cake job for $131,000+ a year. And that's why
how come nobody else wants to do it?
Probably not aware of it.
That's why you go be a commissioner for 4 years and making $17,000 a year as a commissioner, so that you can have that experience in government, which has nothing to do necessarily than the other than you have experience in campaigning.
I would think you would almost have to have like a CPA license to do a job like that.
No, as far as I understand, the minimum requirements, they have them listed on the Knox County Election Commission page.
Yeah.
You don't have to have a law enforcement background or anything to be sheriff. Like, you could run, any of us could run for sheriff right now if we wanted to.
True.
Signatures do you need to get on the ballot?
25 eligible voters in the district, so 25 people in Knox County that are actually registered voters.
That's nothing.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't you do it? Why wouldn't you go get 25 signatures and just get on there, even if somebody else gets on there?
I mean, yeah, it'd be good for the podcast too. So, all right. So the trustee basic requirements by state law Must reside in the county. That's it.
That's all.
That's the entirety that's on the Election Commission webpage.
Not even like an age requirement?
There's there's an overall general provisions for governing qualifications for office. General provisions include convicted. The general qualifications for persons permitted to hold public office are set in Tennessee Code annotated 818-101. This section provides that all persons of the age of 18 years who are citizens of the United States and of this state and have been inhabitants of the state, county, district, or circuit for the period required by constitutional and laws of the state are qualified to hold office under the authority of the state, except those who have been convicted of offering or giving a bribe, some sort of larceny, other things. Those against whom there is a judgment unpaid for monies received by them in any official capacity due to the United States, to this state, or any county thereof this state. Those who are defaulters to the Treasury at the time of the election, and the election of any such person shall be void. Soldiers, seamen, marines, or airmen in the regular Army or Navy or Air Force of the United States, and members of Congress or persons holding any office of profit or trust under any foreign power other than State of the Union or under the United States. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm technically qualified. I'm 18. I don't owe. I kind of owe the state of Tennessee some money. Where are we at on that? Have we paid that off yet?
No.
Okay, I might be disqualified because I owe the state a little bit of back taxes. But other than that, I must reside in Knox County. That is the entirety of the subset for.
Seth, you don't.
What?
That's all on. You don't. It's all on me.
Oh, yeah, good note. All right, that's that. Trustee's office, here I come. Okay, so trustee, basic qualifications listed, must reside in the county. Register of Deeds, basic qualifications listed, must reside in the county. County clerks, must reside in the county. Circuit court clerk, must reside in the county. Assessor of property, must reside in the county, and no member of the county legislative body shall be eligible to hold office of the assessor. So if you're not already holding an office, you can't be a property assessor. If you already if you're already a county commissioner or something like that. School board, same thing. Yeah. We don't have constables in Knox County, as far as I know. You have to be 21 for that. Sheriff has to be 25. Sheriff has a high school diploma or of equivalent recognized by the state of Tennessee. Sheriff has to go through a background check where the rest of us wouldn't.
Weird.
Yep. Public defenders has to be a licensed attorney and within the state for at least 5 years and in the district for at least a year. DA's got to be an attorney in the state for 5 years. It's a pretty low bar as far as requirements. Anyway, that's on the Knox County election website if anybody wants to look that up and peruse on their own. Matt Shears and the Knox Dems were pissed off that they redistricted the state Senate seats. It's a pretty ugly map if you haven't seen it. Have you seen the redistricting scene?
I don't know if I saw it here in Tennessee, but I was looking at who was it? There was somebody's redistricting I was looking at. I don't remember who it was. It wasn't here in Tennessee, but it was just nationally. I don't know. Gerrymandering as a thing is it just makes you want to vomit.
Yeah, it's pretty gross. I mean, I don't know. I guess the question that I think about, like the more I've thought about it, I get the principle. I get the idea. You're breaking up populations and spreading them against other populations that are less likely to vote for you, or vice versa, or whatever. But at the same time, like if you have you still don't have candidates that can beat candidates. If it shouldn't, gerrymandering shouldn't make that big a difference, I guess. I just assume people are. I don't know. I don't quite follow, but.
38-24 with minutes.
All right. You're fired.
Colorado.
I don't get it. How?
All right. I cut Max off because he's working and he's arguing with his wife on Texas. But
you can't find the mute button.
It's hard, dude. The mute button's not that hard. It's hard working in the shop. I got to work a bunch for you this coming week.
Yeah. Hopefully not too long.
I just don't know. I just don't know my stuff anymore. So AC. So, I don't know. I didn't get excited that you're here so you could come read the book I bought you. I know you're
what do you want me to do, man?
I know you're going to read the book. I didn't want you to...
I mean, it's a wealth of fucking information in here. You can't just you can't put fucking wildlife porn in front of me and not have me sit here and jerk off to it.
That's fair enough. Okay.
God damn it, that's your fault.
I'll just mute his microphone too.
No, you don't have to mute it. We'll do whatever you want to do. I'm still going to be here.
Yeah, but I can talk to myself without you in the room jerking off to wildlife porn.
Yeah, but I'd be in the same room, so who cares? What do you want to talk about?
I don't know. Supreme Court came back on that on the mandate stuff, which I found interesting.
So tell me the difference between first of all, why is it okay that healthcare professionals, the Supreme Court mandate on that is green-lighted, but other non-healthcare workers, it's not?
I don't.
Okay.
I don't see them as the same. If that's what you're asking.
Huh?
I'm sorry. I do. Right. I don't see why they should be different. I guess what I'm saying.
Okay.
If everybody has to have it, everybody has to have it. If nobody has to have it, nobody has to have it.
I also don't understand too. Like if the argument is we can't tell people what to do, then why are we against abortion?
I know. I get that one too.
I don't know. I mean, it's just a legitimate. I don't know. I just, again, all along, I've just said I just wish we would just be honest about this sort of stuff, and nobody really is. At the end of the day, it's not about. It's about intellectual flexibility. How can you make your decision, work backwards, and fill in the holes in which to make your argument seem sound?
Right.
That's all this is.
I agree. I think. Like you brought it up many moons ago in the conversation on it, it's like why it is inconsistent with another long-held stance of one subgrouping to demand the freedom on this when you don't allow the freedom on the other. Right.
And so, I mean, the big elephant in the room is all of this is bullshit.
It's true.
I also do want to point out, I know I've said this before, and I hate to shit on this guy because I'm sure he's a good dude. But I remember you mentioned there was some lawyer guy here that said that the Roe Wade thing was not a thing.
Yeah. I was surprised. That surprised me as far as Supreme Court stuff went.
So,
I thought that ship had sailed, and it would be fringe stuff, edge things.
Yeah.
A couple weeks here, a couple weeks there. I didn't think you'd have any major jumps on it. And I'll say I'm wrong on that one.
Wait, no. I mean, the shot wasn't at you. The shot was at him.
No, I agree.
Really, I mean.
But I mean, I followed his logic on it. I agree. Like the principle made sense to me. It's been sitting the way it's sat for as long as it has. Why would it? I don't know. I feel like I guess that's a weird thing in the system that I don't quite understand either. It's like if we're going to do this, why would this go through the Supreme Court, and why don't we have this written into law? And the answer is nobody wants to actually do it. Legislatively.
Right, what in the law?
Whatever version of abortion restrictions that they want to do, because they don't want to do it legislatively because that puts them on record and that becomes a voting issue for them to get reelected. Instead, you do weird vagary shit and then let it toss around in the courts where everybody gets lost and confused about it. And because point being, the end is not the point.
Well, they can't make the laws because it'll go to the court, which is why they don't make the laws in the first place. Right, so like if Tennessee decided that they were going to ban all abortions, period, I mean, they could sign it if they wanted to. Somebody would challenge it. It would go to court. So while it's going to court, it actually wouldn't be a law.
Right.
So, I mean, like, I guess what I'm saying is they can't do what you're suggesting that they can do.
I mean, they can do. It's just like you said, it's not necessarily doing anything until the courts let it go, for lack of a better word.
Right. And right as of right now, Roe Wade is at least for now, safe. So you still couldn't make that law right now if you wanted to because the law's already there. Or the Supreme Court decision is already there.
Right. But again, why if the Supreme Court decisions are already there, why didn't they come back and ratify that as an actual law instead of this weird looseness on an existing law where there's significant gray area for new little things that pops up, and then we go through the process all over again.
I was looking at something the other day, like Democrats in the Senate. It's like 65% of the U.S. population is under the purview of Democratic-led senators. So Republicans represent less than half of the U.S. population, which I think is hilarious because you throw now senators are a little bit different than the House, of course, but I'm just talking about when it comes to gerrymandering and some of the things that are being held up right now as far as agenda-wise for Biden. I find it hilarious that the 50 Republicans plus the two dumbasses that are Democrats are essentially holding up what amounts to greater than half of the U.S. population would potentially be okay with. Does that make sense? So, like,
right.
As a constituency, Republicans actually have less than what the Democrats are representing, and yet you're going to need more. You're going to at least need 52 U.S. senators that are Democrats in order to, circumvent the Manchins and then that idiot chick lady from yesterday. So I just find that odd that we've got
Sinema or Green. Which idiot chick?
Starts with an S. Must be Sinema.
Kristen Sinema,
I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. So yeah, I just find it interesting that the Democrats as a group they represent greater than half and Republicans less than half, and yet it seems like the Republican agendas are the ones that are able to get passed, which maybe speaks more about groupthink. Like you can keep the Republicans together a little bit better than the Democrats can, which is probably part of the scenario. Like, I
mean, it's certainly like in current, at least in federal conversation, it's like there is a significant progressive subgrouping inside the party that has different aims and agenda stuff. Now, when it comes down to brass tacks, 9 times out of 10, they're voting with Democrats. But, their whole thing, that was the whole thing with the Build Back Better / infrastructure bill thing, is the progressive group wanted them stuck together so that the more centrist Democrats would vote for the Build Back Better because they didn't want to, and they were like...
It's crazy, though. Like, the fact that Mitch McConnell can still keep his troops together voting cohesively... I think he's a terrible fucking piece of shit.
I think it's easier. I think part of it is that it's easier when you are the minority to do it because there's less.
I mean, he's been up until
I agree.
this current cycle. Like he's been the majority for years. So at least until what was it? Maybe first 2 years of Obama.
Right.
So, like, at the end of the day, I've got to applaud McConnell in, like, a creepy sort of, like, I'm going to be glad when you're not here anymore type of scenario because, like, his troops will follow behind him. It doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't matter if you're a Tea Party conservative or if you're more of a moderate, like, Mitt Romney conservative. Like, at the end of the day, you're fucking falling in line.
Right.
And the same can be said about the Democrats, and it's a fucking shame because at the end of the day, there are things that could potentially help just like normal, average, everyday U.S. citizens, and yet they can't, like, for whatever reason, Schumer or whomever else is there is not able to get the troops together as well as fucking McConnell can. Like, right. You've got to give that guy credit on that.
I hear what you're saying for sure. My point only being in the current one, it's easier now, I think, as a minority because you're not your expectation is just to be a spoiler. It's not to actually do anything.
So I disagree with that, though, only because, like, if the Republicans were truly in the minority, which they're technically not right now, but if they're truly in the minority, we still have at least one, if not 2, Democrats that are not 100% voting for Democrat-centered stuff.
I get what you're saying. So if
it's less about,
if McConnell didn't keep the ship right, then he could have a leak of 1 of 2. And
that's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. I'm saying, and he doesn't ever have that sort of thing. Like the Alaska and the Maine people sometimes would talk about maybe not voting with their party, but at the end of the day, they still vote Republican-led stuff. Like it's not like his troops stay fucking in line. And I don't know if it's like there's a more variability between like a moderate a Democrat and a progressive Democrat versus a moderate conservative and a Tea Party whack job 5,000-year-old world conservative. I don't know what it is, but there's something there that Democrats will continue to fucking infight and like continue to not get stuff passed and continue to show the average fucking American public that they can't get anything done for them. So why not vote for fucking Trump?
Right. I think by almost by definition, the Democrats cast a wider net. So they're trying. So they're forced to. I don't know what's the word I'm looking for here. Kind of, or that maybe not, they're forced to try to find more compromise on specifics as a group because it's a wider net, and are less able to than I think the whole of the right. I don't think the right has as much. I think the right has the I really don't give a shit about social stuff portion of the right, like the non-evangelical portion of the right, but the more like the quote fiscal conservative, which again I don't think any of them actually functionally believe, at least elected wise. I think the populists that call themselves Republican believe that it's a thing that should be done, but it's not that it's going to get done. But I think that the right has, I guess if you were to split like the views of the right into two major groupings of monies and socials, I think that the entirety of the right is good on the monies, is in agreement on the money side, and the social side either doesn't give a shit or really fucking cares about Jesus being part of the game. And well, if you don't give a shit, then what's it matter if Jesus is part of the game or not? You know what I'm saying?
I don't disagree with that, but I would argue that really at the end of the day, the evangelicals who actually believe that Jesus should be in the middle of it actually are full of shit. Otherwise, they wouldn't have elected Trump in the first place.
That's probably true too. I mean, I think that's part of it as well. But again, like I just don't.
It's fucking lip service is all
I think right. I think the social side of it. I think the social side of Republicans is more of is more for show than it is for form and function. Except for the random, all of a sudden Texas decided they're going to try to ban abortion thing.
Yeah, I don't fucking get it. I don't fucking get it, dude.
Well, because I think that, especially, and I guess this would be the argument for why the two-party system is preferable, is that at least you're shoving a lot more together, because if the left was more true to their probably 4 or 5 subgroupings, then they would have zero chance to get anything done against a giant right that's a single party. Because I don't know, like, I mean, everybody likes to shove the libertarians on the right, and that's fine, just for conversation's sake, we'll shove the libertarians on the right. Like, what other subset, other than, I guess, Tea Party right, further right,
exists? Compared
to how many little subsets are inside the left? I think the left has more subsetting. So if all the subsets of the current parties were their own standalone...
What are those subsets of the left, do you think, Sarah?
I mean, you have you have the uber progressive subset. That's probably the largest one. But I feel like there's a lot more of the social justice subset, which is not necessarily fully in the progressive camp. And
I would say that the alternative to that, on the conservative side, is just pro-police, pro-military. I think they're the same.
Okay.
I'm not trying to like seek out an argument with you or try to invalidate what you're saying. I hear what you're saying. I'm just like, at the end of the day, I think that there are some social differences between some of the folks that are in the Democrats versus some of the folks within the Republican Party. I don't mean between each other, but within. But at the end of the day, I really think all it is no matter what those differences are, whether you're pro-military or pro-fiscal conservatism, which isn't a thing, but let's just say it's for talk speak, that's there. At the end of the day, they can still spar about that sort of stuff, but they don't want the Democratic agenda to pass, period. Like, no matter what they agree with, gay marriage, whatever, their number one thing is they don't want anything that the Democrats could potentially pass to pass.
Right. And again, I think the other part, too, is that if you get down to definitionally, whether it's reality or not, but definitionally, Republicans, quote, smaller government, just saying no to anything new is an easy path to take versus trying to add things is a more effort-filled path. And so, again, on where the right in general has that smaller government thing, it's easier to, and especially as far as the optics part of it, is to rally around the, it's not that we don't like Obama and his agenda. It's that anything new is bigger, worse government, and that's something that we stand on and have standed on and stood on for years. And so he's wanting to add more government. We're saying no to more government, which
is hilarious because Bush added Patriot Act and all that bullshit. I think another part of it too, and I don't think this is discussed.
Sorry to interrupt, but on the fiscal conservative thing. Bush spent more than anybody before him. Obama spent a little bit more than Bush, and then Trump spent way past any of that shit.
Yeah.
So it's not like it's not fiscal conservatism only matters when you're not in office, when you don't have the White House.
I don't think there's a single person that's in office that would say that the framework, the basic skeleton of the Build Back Better stuff of like child care and like all that stuff. I don't think anybody would be against any of that sort of thing. But I think the problem is, if it's passed under Democratic leadership, then you have to argue to your constituents why it is that they continue to vote Republican if the stuff that the Democrats are trying to push is actually helping them. And I think that's a part of it too.
Oh, absolutely.
Which is horseshit. So that just means that none of this stuff will ever pass because, I mean, quite frankly, the Republicans have never had any, like they don't have any interest in doing any of that child care stuff. I mean, they've had the opportunities to do that before and they've never addressed it. So like, it's always been they don't have the money for it, and yet we spend however much money we do in the military and don't bat a fucking eye.
Right.
It's the same old
shit argument. Right.
It's the same old tired fucking story that we talk about every time we're on air.
Well, it's like Sam and I were talking a couple weeks ago about this new super cool telescope thing they put up. What's it called, Sam?
James Webb.
Yeah, the James Webb telescope thing. How many $1 billion?
I think it was 30 or 50.
Who did this?
NASA. James Webb Space Telescope. It's pretty cool. I'm pretty excited about it. But, and it's one of those, we were just talking about it, and the premise crossed my brain about, like, man, that's a lot of $1 billion. What else could we have done with that lot of $1 billion? And then I immediately went where you were just at and go, like, well, we could just not spend that many $1 billion a year on military stuff, give NASA what they want, and then spend those billions of dollars on things that actually fucking matter instead of military. So it's like the gut reaction of that's a big ticket item that NASA did and saying, man, we could have done so much good other stuff with that. I immediately shifted and going like, yeah, let's let NASA have that and take that $50 billion out of military spending and put it somewhere more useful. Not to mention, I'm sure that there's all sorts of, I'm sure the Pentagon's got all sorts of fingers in this NASA project too.
Oh, I'm sure they do.
Using whatever they can from this data that they're going to get back and all that kind of stuff for their own ends.
I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure of that.
I don't think the military is going to have much to glean from far-off pictures of
I don't know about that. I just more of like chemical components, like
some infallible process that they figured out how to get this thing up because they couldn't.
Some additional
failure wasn't an option.
Some satellite, some great satellite they can put out there. Some way the telescope was made. What is that?
King's Distillery. It's a rye whiskey. The best I got is a wine glass behind you. I apologize.
Oh, give a fuck.
I mean, there's some wine around too, but
that's fine. That's fine.
I'll go grab you some ice if you like.
I can get it. Where's it at? I guess in your freezer.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's a freezer right now too. Actually, no, there's no
ice in there.
No, it's got Susan in there.
Who's Susan?
Susan's my deer.
Oh, that's right.
Is that I'm gonna do?
Hold that thought.
I'm gonna do it like hurricanes. Is what I've decided.
Ice is in the freezer.
Yeah.
So a lot of people talk about the military spending. They're trying to reduce it, but you never really hear like the argument of you don't support the military. But when some people talk about quote unquote defunding the police, it's not like, oh, you don't support the police, you want to defund them.
I think that is some set at least of the defund the police movement is people who truly don't support police and what they do. I would say that's the Constance and David Hayes argument. They truly think that that the police is. I mean, I think if you ask Constance, she would tell you that the police are just a bunch of white murderers, even the black ones.
I just kind of think it's odd you don't hear as much like pushback with trying to reduce the military budget.
I mean,
post 9/11, it was a lot more support the troops.
I mean, that goes to
chest thumping.
Right, but it goes back just to what we were just talking about just a second ago. It's like you have a Democrat in Manchin who's arguing against the Build Back Better stuff on finances when he signed off on the last military budget.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Absolutely.
and he's a Democrat.
Yeah, allegedly.
Right. It's like, wait.
I'm sure if you looked at that defense budget, it was probably passed pretty overwhelmingly.
It always is, and that's the problem. Like I don't know. Again, that's the issue to me, is that one's automatic. There's no question. Yeah. Pentagon asks for more, you say yes. I mean, I made the joke back in January when it was Trump had already had the deal with the Taliban that we were going to pull out in like May or whatever. Biden came in and said he's going to honor it or whatever, and everybody was kind of doubtful he was going to do it. Then the whole pullout and the mess and everything was busy and whatever. And I remember making the joke in that budget saying, we have committed to ending the longest war in U.S. history, longest active war. Sorry, Sam, I know you like to pick on Korea. The longest active war in U.S. history, but the Pentagon's asking for more money. Help me out on how that makes sense.
I agree, and I'm going to do so. B to your A is, how do we think that the withdrawal was going to be? Really, do we think it was going to be smooth?
No.
So at the end of the day, do we think that really this was just folks pissed off that the money source is not happening now? So let's fucking make as big of a black eye on this son of a bitch as we possibly can. Now, I'm not saying that it was all perfect, because I'm not a military strategist, but I will say, I mean, what did you think was going to happen?
Yeah.
Like, what did you think was going to fucking happen?
But I mean, if anything, does how quickly it fell apart not prove the point, like, of why we shouldn't be there? Is it literally 10 seconds? Like if our military strategists, the ones that are supposed to be the good ones or whatever, and the intel community that's supposed to be in there and know what's going on, one of the first things that came out, I can't remember who said it, but one of the first things that came out when everybody was outraged about how horrible it was we didn't think the Taliban would take it back that fast. You've been there for 20 fucking years, and you didn't know what they were capable of?
Do you believe that was actually what they thought, though?
I don't know. I mean, right. You're right.
You know what I mean? Like, if they thought otherwise, can they publicly say that? Probably not.
Right.
Because, I mean, if that's the case, then there's a whole bunch of ethical stuff that goes involved. It's
right. But it just proves the point that either they don't know what they're doing, or they knew that they were doing, and they knew that it was a failed project, and they knew they couldn't do anything with it.
I believe that.
They continued to push and push and push because the money train runs.
I believe that wholeheartedly.
The contractors runs. The budget keeps getting bigger, and everybody wins, except for, the couple thousand poor kids that go over there and die. I mean, there are those Afghani people, too, not that they're important.
Yeah, they're brown people. We don't care about them.
And not to mention, they're all starving and freezing to death right now, but there's no media coverage of that. But sure as shit, when we were leaving, those girls aren't going to get to go to college now.
100%. I absolutely believe that's what it was.
And again,
100%.
I'm not a girl, so I don't know, but I would think...
I used to be one.
I would think being alive and being able to eat and stay warm overnight is probably going to be a little higher on my things I want to have happen list than going to college next week. Just a thought process. I don't know. I might be crazy.
It's a Western value scenario.
It must be.
I mean, but like, I mean, I say that jokingly, but really that's true. I mean, like, think about how many people that bust on Nike sweatshops in fucking Taiwan or wherever. So it's like, well, they're getting paid more than the average citizen is getting paid there. Should we pay the minimum wage? I mean, like U.S. minimum wage?
Right.
I mean, already their life is significantly better than if they didn't work in that area. So, like, which one's better? Is it better that they work for Nike in a sweatshop condition?
Right, and we get to buy our kicks.
Yeah, or is it better that they don't work there at all and they don't make any money?
Right, and we keep that money here, but then nobody can buy their kicks because they can't afford them with the
I don't know, man.
That's a separate thing. I get it, but I'm just saying, like, it's a what's there? There's a term for it. It's
for
like
what?
I feel like personification is what I'm thinking, but that's what you do to animals, where you're projecting your value system onto another group of people and assuming that they think the way you think.
Ethnocentric?
Maybe. And I mean, there's certainly some exploitation of that in the bad way as well. I mean, but, it's like, again, it's like who are like, I wouldn't say, I wouldn't feel comfortably arguing on behalf of Nike saying that what they're doing is a good thing for the world stage as a whole, but I'm also not going to sit there and go to and be upset that some person is doing better with their lives because this thing is there. I mean, I think there's other broader issues that are things to talk about, but specifically saying there's a base evil to Nike on using sweatshop labor or whatever, I think is a little bit of an overstatement. Or again, what was the word?
We're being a little ethnocentric.
Right.
Yeah, we're being a little ethnocentric about how the world should approach things, like, which is hysterical because I've said at the end of the day a lot of phrase-wise, but I mean, like the South was built with slaves. The railroad was built with Chinese. Like the sweatshop is nothing more than fucking pre-Abraham Lincoln South. I mean, like, how are you going to be able to create these things and keep the cost where you want it and have people that are not making zillions of dollars up top? I mean,
so
it's
what I
not
hear you
possible.
saying is that we need to get back to it to get this Build Better thing off, or the infrastructure bill off the ground, and really get some good work out of the money we're going to spend.
So the Kafaru Backpack that I bought that was like fucking $800. Every single part, every single piece of that bag, all of it, including the fabric, is made in the United States. All of it.
Mm-hmm.
I'll pay the money, man. I don't give a fuck.
Right. This is something that Sam and I talked about a couple weeks ago too. That stupid fucking water behind you. That's the specialty. Somehow they could prove that the recycled plastic they use would have been in the ocean if they didn't use it.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I think that's one of those. I think that's one of the cultural things that is happening. Like truly, actually is happening. That there are some, positives, some hope in the world, and that people are starting to see how and when and where, and is it important to them, and are they willing to pay that extra for the thing, whatever the thing is, whether it's an eco thing or whether it's a made in the USA kind of thing, whatever it is, that there is a that there, I guess, I mean, there tends to be like every 10, 12, 15 years, something like that, there's like a push to buy U.S. stuff. But I think right now, especially with this madness and logistics that's going on, it's a little bit more evident than it's not as much a selfish version of it as oh shit, this whole system's so damn spread out now that it's still selfish, but it's a different version.
Well, we have the benefit of being solid middle class folks that have the option to purchase a $800 backpack. There are some folks that are hunters that don't have the option to spend $800 on a fucking backpack. So it's all well and good to talk about buying fucking local and buying American-made goods, but, I mean, the cost of that, the only way you can actually afford that is if you have a decent income. True. So, it's a little ivory tower for me to sit back and say, you should buy American when, who's going to, you don't have an $800 backpack. Right. That's not a shot at you. I'm just saying that people decide. I'm cheap as fuck. I know. Well, I mean, people decide to spend their money.
I don't know. I mean, I think technically it's probably an American made backpack. It ain't $800. But
I don't know.
Mine's 100% American made.
Is it?
Pretty sure. I'm pretty sure that's in contract for fucking military gear shit. They're not allowed to. I don't know. It's a surplus. It's a surplus backpack, but it wasn't $800. I think we bought 50 of them for $800. But
but how much do they charge the American people for that backpack?
That's a fair. Yeah, I guess if you put it that way, I might have paid $800 for it in taxes over time. That's good. Good point, sir. But I don't know. I think that's I think it's encouraging that the market that some of those things have become marketable. Now I agree that not everybody can afford that and stuff like that, and that's fine. Like we can bitch about how much Walmart's ridiculous and it's just a shithole and whatever. But
it's the lowest common denominator.
But if Walmart is the one that works for certain households, like I'm not going to fault them for shopping there. I'm not going to stand outside of Walmart and call you evil or a terrible person for shopping there. I think that's just ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't know. The longer that I'm just staring at the hunting book, which I sincerely appreciate. I'm going to spend a significant amount of time on that.
I know your wife's going to hate me, but it's fine.
It happens. The more time you spend in hunting, the more you realize it can be a money trap, a significant money trap. Let me rephrase. hunting, it can be a cheap sport, but by and large, if you want to be successful in it, for the most part, it's not really a cheap sport.
Well, Sam and I were talking about this. What was it? We figured out. What I pay? Oh fuck! What did I pay for processing? I'm trying to think what I paid
It's
for.
like $60, $70.
No, it was $100, $120.
Oh, did you get jerky or something?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you don't have to spend that much money if you don't.
But I would say like $120. I did get like 6 pounds of jerky or whatever. I got a bunch of fucking jerky, but like mathematically, that's more expensive than ground beef.
Yeah, that's where I came to the realization. I was like, wait, I thought you would come out, in the positive if you got your own meat.
But
does that count? That counts your hunting license?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean,
No, fuck, I don't remember when we were talking about it.
Well, a hunting license is good for 3 months, and so if you only shot one deer, then like the cost of that goes down for each deer you end up shooting.
Right, I agree. I'm just saying, like, I want to say probably grand total 30 pounds, generously, would be my generous estimate of what my actual harvest was. I think. I mean, we can break it down. It's in there. It's right behind you. We can go in there and dig around.
Well, probably a decent portion of that was jerky. Like you would have had more if it wasn't for the jerky.
That's true.
I mean, she was a decent sized doe. Which reminds me, I want that fucking video.
Oh yeah, good call. But $4 a pound. I guess I got some steaks out of that, for lack of a better term, and so you would pay more than that for steaks. But $3-4 a pound for ground beef's.
Yeah, but you're not
average.
But
comparative quality, yes, I agree.
Not only that. I mean, if you decided you want to buy venison in the store, you're not going to get it for fucking $4 a pound.
Yeah, but yeah, then with equipment, with all the gear and licensure, and I don't know. I mean, how much do you think you spent on just opening weekend as far as the trip? Not even gear specifically, just like food and gas.
I don't count the gear anymore, only because I've been to enough hunting seasons that like it's become marginal at this point.
Right.
And most of my gear I haven't really bought a whole lot of new stuff. So $100 for the license. A box of shells was $80, so $180. I drove myself several times, so gas would have been, say, $50 each time. I don't know. I'm not sure. If it was just opening weekend where I didn't... Well, I guess I gassed up the RV once. Probably $300, probably.
Okay. What I'm saying, assuming I spent what you spent...
Do I need to do anything on this?
No, it should just hit accept when I find it.
Okay.
You should be getting it now. I'm airdropping it. Assuming I spent what you spent on just the weekend, we're looking at $500 for 30 pounds. If you really want to break it down. Now, I went out, and again, season total, I went out, we were talking about a couple weeks ago, I went out like 15 times this year. I went out a ton this year.
Yeah. Did you enjoy it?
Uh-huh.
Did you? What was different this year? Kids are older, or was it like the one harvest?
I don't work Saturdays.
But you didn't work Sundays.
Right. And I'd say a big chunk of it is, I think I didn't work Saturdays, and that put less pressure on Sundays to get a bunch of other shit done.
Okay.
Actually putting the time on the locals. I was just doing mornings. I'd get up at some stupid ass 4 or whatever, 5 o'clock, drive up there, get out there in time, get set up, run a solid morning, and come home and be home before lunch. And so it didn't take away from any of the stuff I needed to do here, because of the entirety of the trip was 5 hours, 6 hours, and 3 or 4 of those everybody was sleeping and chill anyway.
Did you see any deer there at all?
Archery, I didn't see the deer when we went out.
Okay.
I definitely saw that elk.
Saw the elk.
But the weekend before that, I think it was opening weekend for archery that we went out, when Sam went with us. When I was doing one of my walks, I definitely saw 2 deer, and then I ran into that elk and squared up with that elk. I found a fucking spot, though, on that last one. Like, I was really pissed on my way out. Like, I was driving out, and I was like, that's a gorgeous spot. I was so happy with it. And I was like, fuck. I gotta wait a year to go hunt that spot.
Yeah, that's the problem, too. Like, I've replayed so many scenarios about this.
There's, because the spots I like to go to were covered. There's people there. the one I really liked, the one that Sam and I went to the first weekend, I really liked that spot. That's where I saw those deer. That's where I set up a couple other times. It's foggy, cold-ass, shitty morning. Set up in the dark. It was the first time I'd been there by myself.
Somebody was there?
No, nobody was there that time. I got out there and I got set up. Sat out there, called. I heard some stuff. I didn't see anything. Got up to pack up. Like, I literally got up, picked up my blind, started folding up, and I looked down like 6 inches outside of my where my blind wall was a whole set of tracks. And I was way off in the, like, on the edge. I was not on the path where there was any clearing stuff. It was, and I was like, fuck. And so I walked in a little further and then grabbed my stuff and walked back out. And so they're definitely there. They're definitely active there. It's just about finding them at the right time and the right spot. But, yeah, but so that last weekend, the final weekend, I went down there. That spot was covered. So I went back up to your spot. It wasn't covered on my way in, but it was covered on my way out. It's like, fuck. And so I go to this third spot. And there, I don't know if you look at the map, there's a tiny little, like, probably half, 3/4 acre piece of private land right in the middle. And I didn't realize it. And I pulled off on this little side road that I'd been to wandering around before. Start walking down this path, and it sounds like a dozen dogs going ape shit. I was like, I'm out. Turn around, head back. Because, I mean, even if the dogs aren't running loose, going to try to kill me, and there's no deer coming around with all these dogs going ape shit.
Yeah.
And so then I get back in the car and I'm looking at the map trying to figure it out, and that's when I see this tiny little plot. So there's somebody that their house is just right there in the middle of it. And so I head back out and I'm like, fuck it, I'll go up this way and see what's up here. And I find a pull off. I go down and I find a good small clearing right on the edge of some stuff, set up, decent little spot. Definitely some tracks around once the sun came up and I could see them. But so sat there for a couple hours, did the thing, went about 200 yards further down this trail. It's one of those that has the gate, but the gate's closed. So, walked, so it's definitely a clearing where they go out there with the machines and do different shit during the year. Maybe 200 yards past it is fucking acres and acres and acres of clearing. Like huge clearing space. And then there's like a patch of woods and a patch of woods and a patch of woods all dotted between it. But like where I was, you could see the whole fucking thing. I mean, I don't know. I can't, probably 700-800 yards to where the woods start again on the other side. But you look at the map, it's all woods. The map, this has been done in the last couple of years.
Did you put a marker on it?
Oh yeah, I did. We're going up there. Like if we're going, like we were talking about going up and going shed hunting, that's exactly where I'm going shed hunting. There's got to be elk. There's got to be tons of elk running around up there. So, but that was that. Yeah, that spot was like, damn, fuck, motherfucker. Because as soon as I left, I realized I couldn't hunt it again. Yeah,
I learned a lot of lessons this year. I mean, I need to more consistently go to the gunsmith. I need to talk to those private landowner folks. Like, I need to get Jeremy involved and and try to find out.
If the plan goes as the plan goes, we will be. Max and I are buying this year. Okay. We've contracted a real estate agent. I want it yesterday. Like I'm we'll figure out how the future goes with it, because I don't know. I just want to go play. I want to go, and I want to, like, we got the side by side. We're going to get it fixed. We got that one. We're going to buy another side by side. I'll pay for the guy from Ohio to come down, I guess. I'm not going to have a choice. It's not like it's my choice. So I'm not going to fight. I'm not going to fight it either.
That's fair. Yeah, that's fair. I think this is going to be my last. I think 2022 is going to be my last free year before I start school. I think we're gonna start in January. So I'm going to have 3 years where I'm going to be mostly unavailable.
So, okay. All right. So complete shift to talk. Well, semi-complete shift to talk with like what you said just reminded me of it is, so Max and I were in the shop. Max is in the shop now. That's why he's not here. But we were in there and we were talking about, like, we were just chatting, and this girl comes in and she's like, just got in from New Orleans or whatever. And, I was like, cool. And me being the tech side of the company, it's like, how'd you find us or whatever? She's like, oh, I Googled you guys, popped up. I was like, sweet. What are you doing here? What's from New Orleans? Oh, my sister's a traveling nurse. I was helping her get it set up, and and so I'll be here for like a week or so, and then I'm heading home. And, and so I was laughing at the idea, and, since, I don't know, this whole traveling nurse thing right now, it just boggles my mind. Like, I get it. Like, I get the idea of we need help, we'll pay more for it. but in the current circumstances, it's like everybody needs more help. Like,
is there a question there, or do you want me to just piggyback it?
I mean, yeah, piggyback it, I guess, because I just think it's.
Here's the beauty of healthcare right now. So, I was literally the only person in my facility in April 2020 that was traveling. So, if there's money on the table, I want it. But the interesting thing is, so our COVID numbers are up here locally. Like, we're up, I don't know, maybe 4 times what it was, maybe early December. We're up maybe 4 to 5 times where we were. But
I'm going to interrupt. I apologize. Like,
sure.
When you say COVID numbers, what do you mean?
COVID positive patients in the hospital.
Okay.
Our issue right now isn't necessarily COVID. Our issue right now is, and this is a nationwide thing, the issue now is, fuck it. I can make $5,000 a week someplace else. I'm going to go someplace else.
That's exactly what my thought was.
Everybody is saying that nationwide. And at some point, either the money was always there and you were fucking us from the beginning, which is more likely.
Yeah.
Or there's still some trickling of COVID money that's being utilized. If that's the case, hospitals are truly going to be fucked because, man, there are people that are not going to go back and make their $3,000 every 2 weeks. Like, it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
So, like, take home $3,000. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
So, anyway, I mean, just about every hospital that you could possibly think of in any city in the United States. Like, okay, so give me a decent sized town in the United States, and I can tell you how much you can make a week in an ICU position. This is ICU now. This isn't just like some bullshit, like working on the floor thing. Just like
let's go with
give me a town.
Little Rock, Arkansas.
Okay.
What do you think about this King's whatnot?
It's actually not bad.
Yeah. I paid real money for that.
Apparently.
Wasn't being cheap.
Surprising. Little Rock, Arkansas. That's how much you can make a week.
I am seeing $45-41 a week to go to Little Rock right now and do what you're doing at your current job for probably a quarter of that.
It's about half.
Okay, whatever. Significantly less.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I get it. Like, I don't know. We've teased the idea of doing a healthcare episode for forever, and I think this piles onto the list of things problematically in healthcare.
So this is the one that I'm actually considering right now.
Well, I don't see where. I see
it's
that
California.
Big fuck number.
That number is the only number I care about.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
You work 13 weeks. You make
go work there for a month. You got my yearly.
I mean, I'm.
You got my annual salary in a month.
Seriously thinking about doing that.
I mean, I don't know. Because okay, so to bring it to a non-COVID current world, I mean, it's kind of COVID adjacent, I guess, because the pharmacies are fucking sideways. So the missus has a regular. She has 2 regulars. She takes like it's a daily regular, whatever, 30-day refill, whatever. And we have this consistent. That's been an issue for fuck ever. Is because one of them's Adderall, and so that's on the super big fucking deal. Got to pay attention to it list. And it's a 30-day. Like it's a 30-day script or whatever. So it's like I can't remember what the milligrams are, but it's like 2 a day. So it's 60 pills, whatever it is, 30 days. But we have to call into the doctor's office and request the refill every month on that 30-day mark. Mm-hmm. And so depending on how the month cycles, sometimes that 30-day is on Saturday. Mm-hmm. They won't take it on Friday. They won't say, hey, my script runs out on Saturday. I'm going to need to start the new one on Sunday. Can I call my script in on Friday because you guys aren't in the office on Saturday? It's like, well, no, it's got to wait till the 30 days. So then we skip a day and have to go to Monday. And like, this is like a consistent, constant, whatever. Cause like we had it yesterday, we called in yesterday, and it just so happens that her doctor was off for some reason, whatever reason. The doctor just took a day off, vacation, whatever. And so wouldn't sign off on it, or wasn't there to sign off on it, and just kind of fell off. So we had to go through this whole fucking hullabaloo today about getting her fucking scripts back and meds back on cycle, and it just drives me fucking crazy. And it's like, I get it. I understand, especially with the Adderall being a big fucking deal substance and everybody freaks out about it. I understand we got to be careful about this, but this is a long-term thing. This is a consistent problem. How do we go about fixing it? And I've called and I talked to the office manager of the doctor's office. And how do we go about fixing this? We've got to figure out a way to fix this, because when she falls off cycle, it gets really fucked up for a couple of days and then it falls back in line. And it's like, I don't, it's not that no, fuck it, it's true. I don't want to fucking deal with the off cycle days. They fucking suck. She hates the off cycle days. It's not.
Would the doctor's office write a 2-day prescription?
No, I mean, they're really just we just deal with our shit.
Maybe she just needs a new doctor.
Maybe. I mean, they're like, we could try, and
that's dumb.
You can give us a 2-day heads up, but it's just like it just seems like. I guess the moral of the story, I guess, when it gets down to it, it's I called the on-call today, and I was talking to the on-call doctor today, we've got to get this in today. This is fucking bullshit, and she was giving me all sorts of fucking toot about it. It's like, listen, I understand this isn't what's supposed to fall in your lap, but this is where we are. I'm just trying to do what's right for my wife. I'm trying to make sure this thing is it's like, aren't you, as the doctor and as the representative of this office, supposed to be the one that gives a shit about what's going on with my wife and her health right now?
Maybe.
Supposed to?
I mean, maybe, because, I mean, they see it as, I mean, I'm just telling you what the perception is, okay?
I know where this is going. Go.
Okay. They're saying that this is an Adderall prescription. We don't care.
Everybody's got one.
Yeah, pretty much. And nobody dies by not having it. And so, you just need to find somebody that doesn't think that way. I mean, at the end of the day, that's what you need to do. If her group is consistently pushing that narrative, then you need to find a different doc.
All right. Noted.
I mean, I'm not.
No, it's just just such a. As we're bitching about as I was starting to bitch about the healthcare system at large, there was a specific example I wanted to bitch about. So.
Yeah, I mean, there are ways around that. Some docs will write a 2-day script because they don't feel comfortable writing a 30-day if it's early. But I mean, there are ways around that, dude. It's just that particular office is not interested in being flexible, and so if that's the case, you just got to go somewhere else.
Fair enough. I'll have to look into that. Oh.
It is not complicated.
Sam, I'm sorry. I totally fucked that up. Sam, you still with me?
What's that?
I totally unplugged you, and we kept going.
Oh, I mean, I can still hear you.
Okay. Well, that was just us talking over the table. So,
But the sound got kind of weird.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys are a lot more muffled. Both of you were away from the mics.
Well, I unplugged it because I was airdropping the video of the field dressing, and then I forgot that you were actually hooked up to that.
Yeah, I haven't seen this video since opening day. What a great fucking video. God damn, I'm so happy for you.
Yeah, I'm proud of that, Susan. Okay, so yeah, that's when you ran over the ice run. We were going to that. We started talking about that. Susan. I don't know why I named her Susan. Just did.
You did that day, actually.
Yeah, I just did. It came to me.
It works.
And so I've decided that I'm going to do it like hurricanes. And so I'm just going to go alphabetically.
The next one's going to be a T.
Yeah. So if I get a buck, it's I think I'm leaning towards Trent.
Okay.
I just feel like Trent sounds good to me if it's a T, or Teresa.
What'd you do with the heart?
I brought it home and I sat it in the fridge for a fucking week and I threw it away. Yeah.
That sucks.
Kind of sad about that.
Yeah.
Excited to get my pelt next year.
Yeah, you got a nice little smile on your face here, man. I'm happy about that.
Well, it's like I said. I remember talking about it. Probably September. We were doing a show and I was talking about there's a little bit back in here that I got this little bit of fear that I'm going to do it and I'm going to hate it. Mm-hmm. I'm going to have this
the field dressing part.
Just the guilt of death and all that whole thing.
Yeah.
No. Not at all. No, it's delicious. It was exhilarating. It was an amazing experience, and I can't wait to do it again. It's
without question the most organic, natural food you've probably had.
Oh, for sure.
You have not purchased more natural, organic store food in your entire life.
Yeah, did a great. Haven't cooked a ton yet.
What have you made?
We did burgers. We did. Remember a couple of years ago I did that Asian dish with your backstrap.
Which was good. It's really good.
We've done that, and that's all I've done so far. Ate probably a bag and a half of jerky. Then I broke a tooth, and so I've slowed off on the jerky. Got a big hole in my fucking mouth right now. It really sucks.
From the jerky?
No, it's just it's an old cavity that finally fucking gave shit. And I'm trying to do better in the dentist stuff because I'm trying to retire, and I'd like to take advantage of the dentist while I have one.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
vouchers. I'm trying to think of what's going on like recently. I've got Dino Cole coming in on Wednesday, and Dino is seeking a chancellor position. I have zero fucking clue what a chancellor does. The only thing I've learned so far is that it's some sort of judge. It's essentially a judge, but it's a different sub thing in the legal system. Like it's specific things that go to the chancellery court as opposed to going to criminal or circuit court. So I have no fucking clue what I'm going to talk to this guy about. I'm supposed to have lawyer Jamie on tonight so he could explain to me at least a little bit what the job is so I can do better. Yeah, he's sick. Not COVID, but he's sick.
Or COVID, and he just didn't want to say.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know why he would go so far as to tell me he feels like shit, got tested, and it's not COVID, thankfully, if it wasn't.
That's fair. So, which positions are open and nobody's running for them?
There's nothing empty. So right now, I'm pulling up as of 5/3/22. What the fuck?
That's when the primary is.
Oh, that's when the primary. Thank you. Sorry, that freaked me out. So as of right now, they thankfully, Chris Davis, because he's awesome and I like to refer to him and he likes to be referred to on the show. Chris Davis, I said it twice. They sort it by seat, and so there's 4 circuit court judges, 1, 2, 3, 4. They all have one person running for it. There's 3 chancellors. 1 and 3 have no. 1 and 3 are running on their own right now. 2 has 3 people running for it, including Bud Armstrong, who I believe was the county. Legal. I forgot what that job title is.
Comptroller.
No, it's not the comptroller. I don't know. So the Buck Davis is the current one, who I don't like. Anyway, the head lawyer for the county is, I'm pretty sure Bud Armstrong was the prior. And then he's running for 2, as well as Dino Cole, who I have this week, and Eddie Pridemore. They're all running for 2. I think there are 4 criminal court seats. I think it's 1, 2, 3, 4 criminal court judges, and there's only 1, 2, 3 being run for. But as mentioned, you have to be a lawyer to run to be a judge. No, there's only 3. 1, 2, 3 court. So there's only 1 judge running for each judge seat, except for Chancellor Part 2. Everybody else is running unopposed right now on any of the judge-chancellor subsets. D.A. Sharmalin has 1 opponent currently. As of right now, there are 4 people running for mayor. 2 for District 3, 2 for District 7, 2 for 10, 4 for seat 11, which I find kind of interesting. I guess they didn't know that when they were doing it, because 10 and 11 are both at-larges, so it's countywide. So essentially it's 2 people to fill 2 seats. But Biggs is running by himself for trustee. Sessions Court judge 1, 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, 4.
When's the last day to determine?
February 4th. No, it's not fucking Valentine's Day. It's early February is when petitions are due. And then there's a week after that where people can rescind their petition. But then after that, you're running whether you want to run or not, if you've turned your petition in and all that kind of shit. I know the Democrats have at least 1 guy that they're pretty confident they're going to run for sheriff, but we obviously have Spangler and Jones. The Charlie Susano is running for I'm not trying to figure out how I'm reading that. Circuit, Civil Sessions, and Juvenile Court Clerk. So he's running for all 3 court clerks. I didn't know you could run for multiple seats at the same time. I have to call Chris Davis on that. Mike Hammond, who is the current criminal court clerk, he's seeking to keep his seat unopposed. Sherry Witt, who's county clerk, also. I'm pretty sure she's the current one as well. Register of Deeds is running unopposed. Board of Ed is running hard, and that's not surprising considering what's going on. So on one of the Facebook groups, the Angry Parent Facebook groups that I follow, they put out a thing asking for any parent or anybody that wants to get together to put up a list of questions that they want to send and submit. Same kind of deal that we talked about on here is like some consistent set of questions where we can. And I said, hey, I don't necessarily want to submit a question. I just want you guys to tell me what the answers are so I can put them on the show. If you want to send somebody out from the group to sit on the show and we can do the show and talk about it, I'd love to do it. But I did actually, as I was writing the email, it came to me. I had one question that kind of popped in my head. Let me pull it up real quick. But it was something along the lines of, if I were to submit a question, it would be, quote, do you feel it is beneficial to Knox County parents, students, and staff, as well as general population, to have school board partisan selection? I think that'd be a great question for people to ask of all the school board people running for school board. And I think and channeling you, if whatever the answer is, the why, like, do you think it's a good thing? Why? Like, how does this benefit, Billy that lives down the street as a student at, Gibbs Elementary School? How does it benefit him to have these school board elections? How is that going to make the schools better for him because these are partisan? I think it came to me in the moment and I was proud of myself.
Well, I'm proud of you for being proud of yourself.
I know, it's just like every once in a while I feel like I generally don't think of myself as like coming up with great genius questions, but I think that's what I'm proud of. I think that's one that's a value question. I think it's a good, it's like when we were talking about the 5 questions we'd asked, what was yours? Is something like, who's your favorite person that's on the other team?
And really, at the end of the day, the only thing I'm interested in is trying to get to the heart of this partisan bullshit anyway. That's the only, that's the heart of that question. I don't really care who they are. I wonder, are you able to answer that question?
Right. It's an automatic, fuck you, you're on the other team.
Right. And if you can't answer that question, then I don't have any interest in you whatsoever.
Yeah. It's good. That was my assumption on where you were going with it. Just because it's like, why would...
I don't have any interest in you. You care more about the party than you do about the job that you're... The qualification, the responsibilities of the job you care less about than you do about the partisan bullshit. You care more about your fucking group.
Yeah.
Like, why should I care about that?
Right.
I mean, there are Republican things that I'm happy about. There are Democrat things that I'm happy about. If you're not okay with the other fucking team, then you're not okay with me.
Yeah. And again, I think that general, like just the general idea of the, how does X benefit me? And not me as in me personally, but me as in general voter, John Q, whatever, in Knox County. Right. I think any question that goes along that lines that falls within the job description of the whatever seat you're like, how, so like I said, I got Dino Cole coming in next week. How does you sitting on the bench as a chancellor, how is that good for me as a citizen? And again, I get not truly not knowing what the chancellor is, but some sort of judge legal thing. It's like, well, I help keep criminals off the street. And it's like, well, I can't argue with you about the definition of what a criminal is because that's not up to you. You don't get that choice. That's not what you do as a chancellor. So again, like that's one of my issues that I'm coming to that I've started coming to a weird conclusion on a lot of different seats that are running right now, like trustee being one of them, the court clerk, county clerk for that matter being one of them. Like I truly don't understand how an individual can make a real difference inside some of these particular jobs. Like I get a mayor, I get a county commissioner for that matter, even though they run on shit that isn't actually put within their job purview. But like for Biggs running for trustee, if I run against him, I don't have governmental experience.
So
I own and operate a business. I'm just saying, like as far as like just the general, the talking points that are going to come out and play, we're going to play the game. Right. So
you're saying you want a rhetoric machine?
Well, no, but my I mean,
I'm happy to give it to you. I'm just trying to find out what you're saying.
My concern is that as I understand it, and again, I asked Sam to call the Comptroller so we can get him on helping us understand this.
Has he not done that yet?
No, he has not. Sam, have you called the Comptroller yet?
No, I've not called the Comptroller yet.
Why haven't we done that yet? I'm just curious. I know you're busy. I'm just curious.
Why have I not done it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh.
I will make time. Figure it out. You tell him to show up. You show up in the studio anytime you want.
What's his favorite beer?
I'm still not sure if there's one locally. Like I said, all the times I looked it up, it was just at the state level.
What's his favorite? Anything that's legal to purchase here in Knoxville?
I mean, I don't like.
I'm trying to sweeten the deal for him. That's what I'm trying to do.
Generally speaking, I would say, some like Highlands Mocha Porter, I think is one of his favorites.
Is that purchasable here in
I think it is currently available, Highland Mocha Porter.
So I will buy you 2 6-packs of said beer if you can get the Comptroller here on this podcast.
So if I can get them on the podcast.
Yes.
Hey, dude. Hey, Matt Shears bet me $50 in store credit, essentially, that I wouldn't get the sheriff, and I did. So it's doable.
It's true.
And he still owes me a date for a different bet. I can't remember what the other bet we made was. But anyway, my point being is that the reason I bring up Comptroller, not to dog Sam about his inability to get him on the show.
Well, it's not inability; it's just he hasn't tried to do it yet.
Which would
he's not unable to do it. He hasn't tried.
Okay. Therefore, it's not happening, which means he's unable. Anyway,
that's not true.
We'll see. It's 2 6-packs of beer. I'll pitch it a third, 3 6-packs.
Okay.
But my point being is, I feel like the trustee's office specifically is probably very well defined on what they can and can't do by state legislature as well as the comptroller's office. It's probably very specific county methods, how they're allowed to classify county expenditure X, Y, and Z. And so, again, this is trying to look at it the hiring manager approach is what I've been trying to look at in a lot of these, because that's what we're doing as voters. We're hiring these people to do a job.
Trying to get to your point.
Is how much different can one person versus another do it? I mean, they're really just managing an office that's already doing the thing anyway. Okay. And so what is it that Biggs could do that I couldn't? Probably nothing. You're right. That's my point.
If that's your point, then I don't understand what your point is.
That's what I'm confused. Like, why is this an elected job? Like, why is this job? Like, how does that benefit?
It's probably written in the city bylaws.
But I'm saying, how does that benefit us as? That's what I'm getting to. Is how does that benefit us as people to elect you to do the job versus Biggs?
Would you rather not? Would you rather have it be a non-electable position?
I don't know. That's where I'm confused on the whole thing. Is that I don't know.
Well, I think if it's somebody that's making 6 figures and they're working in government, I think it's probably a good idea to have people vote for them.
But I guess, right? Okay, I mean,
that's just the first thing off the top of my head is if they're making $130,000 a year.
Highest paid person in Knox County is making heavy 6 figures and is not elected.
Okay,
throwing that out there.
Okay, I think if you're making $130,000 a year, it's probably a good idea for you to be elected.
Okay, and again, I'm all for electing everybody. We can elect the fucking street sweepers. The question is realistically, how much room for personality is within the job? Like how much can they actually do and change? How much of it is very strictly monitored and controlled at the state level, where realistically it's a Gloria Johnson, Massey, that kind of, that's what I'm confused on. I'm not asking.
I guess I just don't understand why you're dying on this hill. I don't understand why this is such a thing. You're just curious why this is an electable position? Well, we answered that because it's probably in the city bylaws. Okay, but again, does it just because it's there, does it need to be there, I guess? Well, so now you're arguing that something should be removed from the bylaws that nobody has any interest in removing.
I don't know. That's what I'm getting at.
What are you getting at then?
Let me pause for a moment of
clarity.
Water. I don't know. Again, like the question to me, the only way I can think of to articulate my issue here is that if Bob could if we elect Bob or Susie for the job, legitimately it doesn't fucking matter because they can't do anything. It's all well constructed from the state level. Here's how to deal with X, Y, and Z.
Is that any different from Gloria Johnson's seat, really?
From Gloria Johnson's seat, no.
Okay.
But so she's also a Democrat in the state of Tennessee.
That's my point. Or for that matter, is it any different for a Republican seat? I mean, you can't think outside of the Republican fucking mantra narrative box. Because if you do, then you're gonna have a primary against you the next time around, and you're gonna be gone. So, like, how much wiggle room do you have in that scenario? Either. I guess. I hear what you're saying, but I think you're coming from a different angle, as far as I'm talking about, like literally, structurally, functionally doing the job. I don't see any difference between fucking Gloria Johnson or Tim Burchett. Like I don't see any difference. Like at the end of the day, it's rhetoric.
Right, play by the rules, and again, but the difference is the rules are set by the rules are set by the party in the Gloria Johnson Tim Burchett conversation that you're leaning toward.
Okay.
Where, and again, I already hear what I'm about to say as weird, but the rules are set to the trustee's office by the state, which is essentially Tim Burchett and Tim Burchett team, whatever you want to call it. But the rule, but again, the specifics of the job itself. We are electing a person to do this job. The specifics of this job itself are non-negotiable. This is what you do. This is how you do it. All of this stuff is in place. All you do is manage the system that's already built. When I am hiring somebody to do it, said job as not a voter, but as an individual, what am I looking for in that in an individual to be able to do that? How much am I looking, like, what are we actually looking for in the person if we're looking at the job for what the job actually is? I don't think that's what we're voting on, is my point. I think generally speaking that we don't understand that, and that's not how we vote. Because I don't know if, I mean, as far as I understand, Biggs is, again, I'm not trying to pick on Biggs in any of this, but Biggs is a realtor. What does Biggs know about accounting?
I mean, what do any of these politicians know about working in politics before they get into politics? I really don't see a difference, dude. Like, I mean, what's the difference? Trump ran a business. Could he run the country? I don't know. I mean, you know, you could make a very strong argument that if Hillary Clinton's name was Joe Smith, there is not a single person in the history of the United States that has had a better resume than that running for president that didn't get elected.
I mean, yeah, you could, anybody more likable than actual Hillary Clinton could probably have won everything, I mean, all things considered. And likable is a perception. So who gives a shit about that? So, like, I would also argue that this whole fucking whatever this trustee, whatever. I mean, you're essentially trying to like this person. You don't know what you're voting for in that scenario. You don't know what you're voting for with Tim Burchett either, except that he wears a Carhartt and he was relatively accessible when he was a mayor. I get it. I do. And I guess that leads into the real issue I have at play. That's why I'm trying to put forth the effort to make this job description page, because I know right now, before we officially have any actual real campaigning really start, that we're going to have candidates running on things that's not within the job title. And it drives me fucking crazy the more I get to understanding what's actually happening here. I guarantee you we're going to have school boards running on, we're not going to allow critical race theory in our classrooms. Sure. That's not your fucking job. That is above your pay grade. You don't get to make that decision. I understand that, but the only reason why they're saying that anyway, presumably they know that, but they know saying that will get them elected. Same reason why fucking political candidates that are running for some sort of bullshit seat, Senate or House, are saying things that they are not able to do also. I mean, at the end of the day, we've had this conversation ad nauseum. Right, but this goes back to, like, your original, like, I think probably episode 2 or 3 or 4, because you weren't in one, was the hold the feet to the fire thing. Right? That was one of your phrases. Sure, we need to hold them to the fucking fire. I don't disagree with that, but that's different from what your initial argument was 10 minutes ago. Your initial argument was you can just throw anybody in there on that situation. Now you're saying you throw anybody in there, and if they say things, you should hold them to the fire, which I agree with. But I'm saying that when they start out, they're no different. That particular trustee's position is no different than running Tim Burchett's seat. Well, I think that what the flexibility and functionality of the job is, and like if Biggs runs on fucking critical race theory is not allowed in the schools, then I mean there's a huge issue because it's obviously not there. But I think we're kind of spread off into two different things here, in the specifics of the trustee versus any of the other seats. Because again, I think 100%. Like it's whatever riles up to get the vote. That's the game that they play. Yes, but I think that's one of my goals in functionality right now is to try to at least take some chunks out of that. It's like, let's at least keep you honest about what you're allowed to and allowed not to. And again, disagree. Going back to the trustee part of it is saying, what are you allowed to do differently than this other person running against you? What are you actually allowed to do differently? You can run on whatever you want. You can talk about whatever you want. But what it looks to me like the job title is and what you could actually functionally do within the system at play is a very small window. And you're not going to run on that. And that's what I'm trying to figure out. And that's why I say, does it matter?
How is that any different than what I just said about Burchett and Gloria Johnson? Gloria Johnson can't get some of the things that she would want passed because she is a Democrat in a fucking very red state. Tim Burchett is only mouthing off the things that Republicans already have done prior to him walking through the door. And so if that's the case, then the two positions are incredibly similar because there is a limited scope of things that they can do in that office. It's already defined by who they are walking into the office.
But there's a specific difference in ability to do within the law and ability to do within the political structure. Because Gloria Johnson can literally run on, I want to make legal weed in Tennessee. And that's a true statement. She can run on that, and she can put forth effort into doing that. Biggs can run for trustee and say, I want to make legal weed in Tennessee, and that has nothing to fucking do with the trustee's office. Well, that's the difference that I'm trying to get to the bottom of.
Well, I mean, those are two different job descriptions.
Again, that's what that's why I'm making the job description page, trying to figure that out.
You're missing what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, within that job description, you've got a limited scope of what you can do in there, is what I'm saying. The job descriptions, comparing the positions, are vastly different. But what you can actually do in those job descriptions is actually pretty similarly uneventful.
Okay.
Gloria Johnson can talk about weed. She's not going to pass it. Tim Burchett will never talk about weed because it's a red state, even if he believed in it. He could be toting every day at home, but he can't do it. So he's limited also.
Right, but he is limited by party restrictions, for lack of a better word, but not by job description.
It really is a job description. I mean, really, because
a better example. A better example of what. Let me try your example in a different framework.
Okay.
Eddie Manis. Eddie Manis is probably not a good one. Let's go with Jason Zachary and Gloria Johnson. Jason Zachary can't run on pro-weed because he's a Republican.
Okay.
Gloria Johnson can because she's a Democrat.
Okay, she can run on it all day long, but she's not going to... I mean, you're talking about what can you do in the job. Let's say she gets elected because of that. She's not going to get it passed. She knows that. Say what you want to about the Democrats here in Tennessee. They're not dumb. I mean,
but I agree, and I mean I've made the joke that it's probably actually a fun place to be for Gloria Johnson. As much as she sounds off as frustrated, is that it's probably fun to play the game that she's playing right now.
Oh, I'm sure
it's frustrating as well. I'm sure because there's actually things that she does really care about that she can't get done. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, she is she was very fun to have on the show here. Thank you. Oh, anyway, but like she's very fun to have on the show here. She's very fun to talk to about a separate interview that we'd both done independently with the WBIR and some other shit. But it's a very easy job for her in the sense that there is no expectation. She can't lose because she can't win. She's going to win by losing because she just gets to say, hey, well, they said no, like they do. It's their fault.
What's your point?
I was just going on.
I recognize that. What's your point?
I don't remember. Going back, I think my main point in this, in a broader sense of this, is while I hear what you were saying and the difference of what you can and can't get done within your job title but there's a specific difference between what you can and can't get done because of the politics of it and because of the actual job itself. And what I'm trying to understand...
I'm saying there's no difference. That's what I'm saying.
What I'm trying to understand on some of the specific jobs that we are hiring for in this upcoming election, mm-hmm. I want to understand how much difference there is from that a person can make from A to B. Can you change this or that? Can you do this thing or that thing? Because, again, I get it on the grand scheme, on the basic layman version of it, it doesn't fucking matter. But this is where the curiosity and whatever I'm trying to chase down.
Be curious about it all you want to, but at the end of the day, if you have a Republican running for something, you just assume in this particular state that this Republican is going to be pro-life, It's going to be anti-gay for the most part, or at least non-committal on gay. Allegedly fiscal conservative, pro-military. Probably you're going to have some pro-Trumpian thoughts in there. That way you can keep some base.
I'm interested to see what I'm really interested to see how Eddie Manis's race goes, just because of some of the specifics you just jumped out there.
Sure,
because he is a weird middle Republican in that sense, in that for starters he's gay, but among other things.
Sure. So one thing I read on CNN's website a day or two ago that I thought was interesting was DeSantis came out and said he critiqued Trump and said that Trump screwed up in the very beginning of COVID by telling folks that they should socially distance, that shouldn't have happened, which I thought was an interesting argument.
Right, and he also let me jump on for just a second. He also got really dodgy about getting asked if he had the booster or not, and then Trump came out and gave him a bunch of shit for being like, you did or you didn't, just fucking say it. Because that was an interesting little thing. Go ahead. Yeah.
He did it in a little roundabout way.
Yeah.
He talked about I think he referenced like gutless people that wouldn't say if they got the booster or not.
Did you guys see?
But everyone knew it was in reference to DeSantis.
Also, side note, did you guys see the side by side? I thought that I sent it to the group text, but the side by side mannerisms that Trump does versus the side by side of DeSantis.
I've not. You didn't send it to us.
Let me bring this up here because it looks like DeSantis has, over the last 12 months or so, has developed the same sort of speaking with the hands mannerisms that Trump has.
I don't know the history of him to say it's new or not, but
it's okay. Well, I'm happy to show you the video if you just wait a fucking minute.
Well, people listening can't see the video, but
we can put it up on the fucking website, or if they followed us on social media, didn't fucking bitch about it.
All right. Speaking of social media, I need to pull that up, actually. Something I wanted to make sure I mentioned. Had a gentleman reach out to the show. Let's see if I can find him. I got Will Edwards for school board. He's scheduled. Kim Frazier's scheduled. I reached out to Biggs. We're going to get him in the next couple of weeks. Judd Davis. Matt Shears is all pissed off about whatever. I'm still trying to work on getting Herrera back in. I did talk to David Hayes. I'm trying to get him scheduled as well. That'll be fun.
Open up that.
All right, can't find Trump body language. There's no audio for the audience or us for that matter. Well, you might hear it in the room.
And honestly, we have businesses that have been locked down and lives destroyed for over a year. Cases say no COVID vaccine passports, made in China and Russia. Why would we want so many important things to us be at the whim of China?
I mean, they close up on a signature. I don't know, man.
You don't think there's a forget about the pen thing. I don't give a shit about that. But I mean, the fact that you're signing something with a Sharpie seems a little ridiculous. But you're telling me that right there is not similar?
I use a Sharpie all the time.
You use a Sharpie to sign your fucking name?
I mean, I don't know. I don't sign things in a giant envelope.
If you were the fucking trustee, you'd sign your fucking name in a Sharpie?
I mean, if it's a...
Answer the goddamn question. The answer is fucking no. You're not going to sign your fucking name in a goddamn Sharpie. You're not a fucking child.
It'd be a big pen. Trump's doesn't have a Sharpie anyway. That's not a Sharpie. Sam, I'm sorry. Well, yeah, Sam, pull it up. You can see it. Is that a Sharpie?
It sure as fuck looks like one.
It's a marker, but it ain't a Sharpie.
What the fuck is the difference? He's signing his fucking name with a marker? Who the fuck does that?
It's permanent.
Right, yeah. Like, are you shitting me right now?
How's our football game going? Fuck it, yeah.
Oh, wow, good.
Yeah, I took the over in that game, which was 43. Thank you, Bills, for doing it by yourself.
Jesus Christ, they're fucking killing them.
Yeah, not killing them. They killed them. Past tense. All right, so that brings it back around. All right, fuck.
How much time we got? I got a cigar to smoke.
About 10 more minutes.
All right.
Perfect final closing conversation.
All right.
We're going to talk about how bad Sam is at picking football teams.
All right.
Giggity.
So Sam and I did talk about it last week. It's a tight race. I don't know, you can't get too excited if you're in the lead, but you are in the lead. AC is winning right now. Going way back preseason, we did our pick'ems.
What did we win?
We didn't place a bet back then.
This is fucking horseshit.
I pitched a bet with the current standings.
Speaking of which, where the hell's my fucking holster? Although this is probably better than the fucking holster.
Well, that's not. I still owe you that. So here's the sheet. For those of you following, is that the sheet? Yeah, that's the sheet. So
Just leave my picks out.
Yeah, I mean they're all red, so you're good. I mean, you have one.
He gets cocky when he gets drunk, doesn't he?
On your 7 picks, Sam, you have one that made the or on your. I'm sorry. On your 14 picks, you had 2 in the correct placement, and 1, 2, 3, 6, 7 total of 14 that actually made the playoffs.
Hey, I made a good guess.
50%. It's not bad. All right, so how I'm pointing this is that you got if for AC that's in the room, if you see it, it's in green, you got that's not true either. If they made the playoffs, if any of your 7 picks for the NFC or AFC made the playoffs, you got 1 point. If you picked them correctly as the division champion, you got 2. So AC, he swept his NFC. He got all 4 teams correct in the NFC, and you got 3 of 4 correct in the AFC. And really, when you get down to it, we go down to the championship, the Super Bowl. That's where it gets exciting. Because realistically, it'll be 5 points 5 points for each team that make it into the Super Bowl, and then you get 10 points if you pick the Super Bowl champion correctly. AC's got the Chiefs. I've got my Packers because I'm a homer, and Max has the Bills, which given what just happened, it's not that far fetched. I'm excited. I'm proud of my picks. I'm not mad at it.
What's the orange bullshit mean?
So red is wrong, or like red is completely wrong.
Okay.
Green is correct placement, and orange or yellow. I don't know why there's a yellow one, but orange means they made the playoffs, but you didn't have them in the right spot.
I was wondering what the hell you were talking about. And you're like, I had a bunch of red. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah. So like
So do you get a point for the orange or the yellow?
Right. So for me, for Philly, San Francisco, and LA, they all made the playoffs, but they didn't make it in those particular.
So you don't
subsets.
get points for that.
I only get 1 point, where you get 2 points for all the green ones.
Who comes up with the point system? The guy that created this thing?
Yeah, absolutely.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, and I totally jinxed it in my favor. I mean,
I'm sure.
I'm happy as a pig in shit if my Super Bowl Green Bay Tennessee is correct. I'm making a grand either way, no matter what happens.
There's no way Green Bay's winning the Super Bowl this year. It's not happening.
Make the Super Bowl. I'm winning a grand. Doesn't matter.
Is there some weather or something going on at the Bills game today?
It was colder, and damn it, I was watching it. But
it's always colder, and damn it, in fucking Buffalo in fucking January.
I actually looked at that before I placed my over bet, because they played what the Bills Pats played week 17, and it was colder and damn it, but it was like 25-mile-an-hour winds or some shit.
I remember that. Yeah,
windy as fuck.
Yeah.
And New England beat the shit out of them because they ran better. But yeah, so I literally checked the weather before I placed that bet. But I did a teaser and took both favorites basically at a pick, and then I took the over in that late game, so that was a win. But no, I put it out for our pick 'em bet. A nice, a fine bottle of whiskey or wine, $40-$50, nothing crazy, but $40 to $60 bottle to the winner from the losers. Sam excluded. He doesn't count. He's not pitching in. He wouldn't have pitched in if we did it from the front end anyway. It doesn't matter.
Yep.
See,
I would have said I'll play for fun, but I know that I know very little about football.
Yeah, I was going to push him to get him in on the bet. So right now it's 16 for AC, 14 for me, 14 for Max. That's the point system currently.
So really, the only thing we care about right now is who makes it to the NFC Championship game.
Right, we're like
NFC and AFC Championship game.
Right, we're cheering for like personally. If the Bucks get knocked out, I'm super happy because that's half of both your and Max's.
I was like,
Super
who the
Bowl.
fuck are the Bucks? First of all, you spelled it wrong, and then you got Tampa Bay differently. Like, what the fuck kind of nonsense is that?
I copied and pasted from your individual pages that you guys filled out.
I filled it out here. Thank you very much. So,
I'm just saying, I copied and pasted from.
So you're telling me that Max
If you
spelled
look
it
at the
wrong?
bottom, if you look at the bottom, the tab for him, he has.
So he spelled it. What you're saying is he spelled it wrong.
I just copied and pasted what he gave me.
Is that a yes?
I don't know. I might have spelled it wrong. I'm not going to blame him for it.
I mean,
He might have transcribed it to me, and in the moment, I spelled Bucks like we're used to. I grew up in Milwaukee, man. Bucks are my basketball team.
so really, it's your fault.
I mean, I'm sure it is. I wasn't doubting that from the beginning.
So you're also saying that if Tennessee and Green Bay don't make the Super Bowl, you fucking lose.
I'm done. Yeah, I'm dead.
Okay.
I'm dead to rights. If
You need at least one of the two of them to stay in it.
yeah.
Okay.
Like, yeah, so, I mean, for me, like, I mean, as much as I bet on the Bills tonight and I bet on the over, I was hopeful. No, I wasn't. I was hopeful because I'd rather win my short-term bets. But for this conversation, I was hopeful that New England would upset because that would knock Max out of conversation. But we haven't solidified the bet either, so.
I mean, I'm okay with I mean, it's going to be half of the $50. I mean, are you going to get two of them or just one for?
I was figuring everybody would everybody puts a $50 bottle on the table.
Okay, all right, sounds good.
Yeah.
Speaking of Super Bowl, is Max going to have a Super Bowl party?
No.
Well, I guess, and then when's the question? What day is Super Bowl?
Sunday. I mean, you asked it like that. What do you want me to say? Wild card.
13th.
Yeah.
Good.
Oh, motherfucking! Are you serious?
What?
It's a major scout thing. It's that afternoon. It's not like it's a big fucking deal, but it's not like I won't be done with it. But we have a big scout thing that day. My eldest graduates from lower scouts to higher scouts. To where the more likely perv guys are from the less likely.
Oh, Jesus. All right, on that note, I think we're done.
All right. Sam, last call. Anything we missed?
I don't think so.
Yeah, so like I said, I've got a bunch of people I'm talking to, so we're going to have some shows. Stupid lawyer Jamie getting sick like a dumbass. It's not even COVID, loser. All right, so outro. AC, you want to do the outro for me? I didn't even ask you, Sam. Shut up.
Nope.
Nobody wants to play along and do the outro for me. So sad. We're almost in agreement. Almost in agreement at gmail.com. Find us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. Like I said, I got Dito Cole this week at minimum. I'm trying to work on some others. I've got a ton to do between here and early May. And as far as May off feels, since it's colder than damn it right now, it's not that far away. So, almost agreement at gmail.com, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. Check out our website at almostagreement.com. I've got the job description sheet up. It's open. You can check it out. It's very incomplete. I'm still working on filling in all the gaps and thises and that's and the what's nots and all the craziness that is what these job titles are, even though AC doesn't understand what I mean. But I don't know. Stay tuned. We're going to keep working on it. We're going to keep doing what we do. We're going to find some new things, and I don't know. We're going to get smarter for the sake of getting smarter, I guess. So, all right, that's what we got. Thanks, everybody.
What the fuck is that?
It's been there forever. Don't.
I've never heard that before,
Yes,
ever.
you have.
I
Jesus.
swear to fucking God, I've never heard that ever.
All right, I'm not. We're still recording just because that's funny.